Welcome back, rum fans. Now, I know many of you watching this absolutely love your rum, but I also know that a huge percentage of you don't drink rum neat. You're all about mixed drinks, whether it's rum and Coke, rum and ginger. But as I see in my comments in the Discord and Instagram DMs, all that kind of stuff, I see a lot of you trying to get a little bit more adventurous. But the question I always get, like, how and where do I start? And that, boys and girls, is what I'm going to hopefully attempt to help you with today. Because today, I'm going to give you the lowdown on these. My go-to rum cocktail books. I'm going to tell you which ones you should potentially start off with, which ones you should sort of get next, and kind of help you on your cocktail journey. Now, just very quickly before we dive in, I'm going to get to it in a minute, don't worry. But if you think at any point I'm providing you with some awesome value that's going to help you, make sure you smash that like button. That really, really helps. And if you like me and want to follow my rum journey, which will hopefully help you on your rum journey, then make sure you're subscribed to all 3 of my rum channels. I do, this channel is all about education. I've got my rum reviews channel and my extra channel where I focus on cocktails and spiced rum. So that will be linked in the description below and in the pinned comment. So let's dive in with the books then. First one, I have to get, he's my brother from another mother, really. Let's get the close up on there. We have to give old Stevie a shout out. You know, he's the younger, better looking model of me. He's released this. I think this cocktail book is absolutely genius for an all-rounder. How many other cocktail books haven't cottoned onto this, I don't know, but let's just get a page on it. What I would say, there's a good rum section in here, but obviously it's a generic cocktail book. But let's get to the rum. Let's get to the rum bit. The Queen's Park Swizzle. You know, he's got some great cocktails in there, but what I absolutely love about this book, and I think is the next level of books, is the QR code. You can scan the QR code if you want to see Stevie make a cocktail, you know, how it's actually made. You've got the recipes here, you know, all the recipes are in there. But if you want to watch him and like show how, let him talk you through how to make them, I think that's a great thing. So he's got videos to go through there. Now, as I say, when it comes to proper sort of tea, I think these are generic kind of rum cocktails. I think when you go down your rum journey and you kind of want to experiment with different rums, I think that's when you kind of leave this book behind. But as an entry point to rum cocktails, I think this is great. So we've got an Angostura Colada, which you won't find in any other cocktail books. We've got an artichoke hold. We've got a bitter Mai Tai, which I haven't even looked at the recipe, but I'm assuming it's a Campari version of a Mai Tai there. We've got a Brancolada, which will be Fernet Branca, I'm assuming, in there. Cable car, you know, caipirinhas, Cuba Libras, Dax. What's his Dax recipe? 2 ounces of rum, 2/3 of lime juice, and 1/3 of rich, simple. Interesting ratio for a DAC. So we've got Dominica, which will be like an espresso martini kind of vibe. Don's Own grog. You know, so you've got some different kind of recipes in there, which will get you started. You know, absolutely bang on the money to get you started. Proper, basic kind of rum cocktail. So there's a decent amount in there. But if you want, you know, this is a great book, and I'm always going to shout him out. You should have this. You should own this. Stevie's my brother from another mother, but who's also another brother from another mother is my mate Geordie Radev. I fell in love. I didn't even know he'd written the book, to be fair, but I've had this probably 3 years now, and I flipping love this book. This is Let's Get Tropical, and actually for my money, this is the ultimate entry point to, I wouldn't say tiki cocktails, but tropical cocktails. I think this book is very well curated and put together. We've got all the tools as you expect. Same as Steve's at the front there. You've got all the tools and kind of the rums that you kind of need. It is focused on rum, but you do get a little bit of other stuff going in there. But what he does very, very, let's get you a good one, for instance. What he does very well, let's go into that. We've got the Mai Tai there, and he'll talk you through how we got the Mai Tai. But what he's got on the next page, which I absolutely love, which I'm all about, he's got 3 different ways to riff up the Mai Tai. And he does that with most cocktails. Let's go for another one. Have we got Jungle Bird? No, we've just got one version of a Jungle Bird. Let's go Margarita. All right, tequila cocktail. But we've got the Margarita there. And if you go to the next page, he says we've got 3 ways to riff up a margarita. So I think this book, we've got the Rum Runner in there, modern tiki cocktails, modern tropical, the Beachwhacker. I've made that so many times on events. People absolutely love that. We've got a few other. I think this is a fantastic, fantastic book. It was a tenner. I'm assuming it's still a tenner. I don't know how much it is, but this would be my best starting point if you want to get into rum and tropical cocktails. Now, the next book up, what I would progress to from that is this one, Tropical Cocktails. I think, again, I love this book, absolutely do. It's definitely more on the fun and fruity vibe than the tiki, but it does start to get you to mess around with big, bold flavors, different spices and that sort of stuff without properly going down the tiki route. Again, this book is very well put together. There's lots of decent pictures. The lettering, the wording, it's decent enough for someone like me that doesn't actually read that much. But cocktails, yes, it is rum focused, but we do have a bit of bourbon, a bit of tequila, a bit of gin in there as well. But we've got stuff that you just won't find on the interwebs. Let's just take those two, for instance. Let's just get you another, there we go, another couple of cocktails. What's that one? It's the Tiki Mojito. What's that got in here? Diplomatico, mint syrup, ancho reyes, like a chili liqueur, and lime juice. So I think that is a great stepping stone. So that would be my step up from that. All right. So next up, I do think we now go to Smuggler's Cove. Now, Smuggler's Cove, I wouldn't say is the easiest book to get along with, but the recipes are brilliant. And what Martin Cate does exceptionally well is he kind of has his classifications in there as well. So he kind of calls for like a category 3 rum or a category 5 rum, and then gives you multiple different variants or multiple different options you could use in that. Because when you get into tiki, it is all about the rum. Different rums make different tasting cocktails. And that's what this book is all about. But there is a lot of substance in here as well. You've got paragraphs and paragraphs, and for me, not a big reader. Actually, I would say recipes probably make up maybe about a third of the book. The rest of the book is knowledge and history and that sort of stuff, and techniques and all that sort of stuff, and how to make some of these liqueurs and syrups. But I think it's a recipe book that you kind of do need in your wheelhouse. I think it's a good starting point. I think it kind of gets you into tiki cocktails. But as far as recipe goes, I think you need it. But as far as recipe goes, when it comes to tiki cocktails, I think you need. I would personally start off with Beach Bum Berries Remixed, but you've got Sipping Safari. Beach Bum Berry Remixed would be my first port of call for this one, but then Sipping Safari is a great addition. Not the same book, Beach Bum Remixed has got Intoxica and the Grog Log in it. It's the 2-in-1 in here. Not cheap, these books, really not cheap, but for my money, actually. Because Beach Bum Berry has got dedicated his life to recreating Don Beach's and Trader Vic's recipes. I think this one alone is the tiki book. The tiki cocktail book. It's just jam-packed. There's a bit of knowledge in there, bit of stories and stuff, but it's just jam-packed with recipes, and those tiki recipes that, as I say, the two giants created and went with. Don Beach, Trader Vic. I think if I was only, wanted one tiki book, I think it would be this one over Smuggler's Cove. But Smuggler's Cove does give you that knowledge of what other rums that you could use. Whereas, sometimes this might sort of say Diplomatico, Dominican Gold Rum, or, and that could be anything. You could be an unaged, it could be an aged, it could be. So, Martin Cate does kind of classify that a bit more of what rums should be used. This is a bit more generic, but a fantastic book. Which then leaves me with these two books, and Shannon Mustafa, she's this is an absolute belter of a cocktail book. Tiki, as it says on there, modern sort of tropical cocktails, but tiki with a modern sort of twist. Lots of updated liqueurs and spices that you can get in this day and age. Bear in mind, these are 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old recipes in here. Shannon's brought this really up to date with liqueurs and spirits that are available in the sort of 2020s, if you like. It is a great, well put together recipe book, very clear, very concise. Again, if money's no object, I think you do need this because there isn't much replicated in here that's in Smuggler's Cove or Beach Bum. These are very much new cocktails in here. And there's I've made quite a few of these, absolute phenomenal ones. And you can see from now, if we can zoom in on that one, you know, look at the amount of ingredients in that. This is proper tiki. And then to finish up with, I will kind of mention this, but I will give you my top pick of which one I think you should go for. If you could only have one. This book, I want to give a shout out to it because I really do rate this. This is a generic, again, there's lots of vodka, there's lots of gin, there's a bit of whiskey in there, there's a bit of tequila in there. It's not rum focused, but it is very wacky focused. Some of the recipes in here, again, I've not made too much of these at all because they're just out there, but I love this book for inspiration. Let's just go for this one, the hot pink drink. I've got to read the very first line, 2 ounces of cucumber, chili, pepper, vodka. I mean, where do you get it? It's a homemade stuff. So that's what we're kind of talking about in here. Let's just pick another one. Let's just very, very quickly go. That's an easy one. A nutty Samoan. So you've got coconut rum, you've got frangelico, orange juice, pomegranate, lime, orange wheels, and that. There's some weird and wacky kind of vodka, prune juice, agave. You know, there is some fantastic stuff in there, but this one's a little bit different. So which book should you buy if you want to? If you can only have one, I'm going to give you 2 answers to this depending on your level. And I've kind of already hinted at them in here. Because if you are just starting out, if you're not even remotely close to tiki and you haven't got the abundance of ingredients, I think Georgie's is a great starting point. I really do. Again, yes, there is a few different ingredients in here. This is aimed at bartenders, but for inspiration and ease, I think this is the go-to place to start. All right, I think it's, as I say, it's the entry point before Smuggler's Cove. But actually, when it comes to tiki cocktails, don't get me wrong, I love Smuggler's Cove, but this is the book that I do come back to time and time again for inspiration. Beach Bum Berries, remixed, Intoxica and Grog Log, all in one. As I say, yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but me personally, I've taken, if I understand rums and how rums play in cocktails, different flavours they give me, then this is why I refer to this, because sometimes the Smuggler's Cove is not quite where I need it to be for inspiration, but this is. Now, to make your life easy, if you want to kind of buy these will all be linked below in the description, and they will be affiliate links, so I get a little bit of commission. They don't give you a discount, but I get a little bit of commission if you choose to buy these. But I promise you, I would not be anywhere without any of these books. I love all these books, but if I was just to have 2, you know, it would be, it would be those 2. Starter, basic, tiki.